Well, music fans, I hope you found us. I think you did if you're listening to me. This is episode 284 of Fine Music. And of course, it seems to be Rolling Stones week on the internet. So I figured bring back up this great background that Jim put together for us. And we're still missing some members. Like I told you, Fred couldn't be here for a couple of weeks. He vows to be back next week. Murray was on a 3-month road trip. So that's why he's been gone so long. He might come back. And Spencer's in school. So we have the faithful duo, starting with Jim Babwe.
Hey, one of the cool things about the digital revolution, the transition from vinyl and actual tape, magnetic tape to digital, I think one of the cool things about it is what's possible, And I remember I don't remember the title of the album, but the record that was that put together Natalie Cole's vocals with her dad's vocals, Nat King Cole, and that came out.
Unforgettable.
Unforgettable. That's the name of it. Good call.
Yeah.
I think that kind of went in my head like, wow, that's possible now. And then at Coachella, apparently they have had shows with holograms of like Tupac Shakur and
I went to a Roy Orbison concert a couple years ago, and he's been gone for decades.
Right.
So it was his hologram with a real band behind him.
It's just kind of interesting. I mean, the things that are real but not real. It's like a fictional reality,
crossing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney on tour, he does a duet with John Lennon now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one song.
Does Lennon have anything bad to say about it, or
no? He doesn't say much.
Yeah.
These days. Yeah. I mean, they're going to come out with that finally after all these decades. That third song that was on a cassette called Now and Then. And if anybody's heard it, I've heard it. Now and Then. It was not in very good shape.
Yeah.
But thanks to AI, apparently they've spit and polished it. And they even added on some George Harrison guitar. But he's been gone for a couple of decades too.
So I use a program called Goldwave. It's it's like a little recording studio on my computer.
Yeah, so you could add on a little
I could put myself into the Rolling
to your whatever.
We could be Rolling Stones. I mean,
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all a lead up to what I want to talk about today. That's Elvis Costello's album called Spanish Model. And what you get with Spanish Model is the instrumental tracks to a lot of his songs that have been done over with vocals, remixed with the vocals by a variety of Spanish speakers. And so the lyrics are mostly in Spanish. They're not exact translations, not perfect translations of the original, but some of them are very, very good. And the one that I really like the best is called Detonantes. And that's a remake of Little Triggers. And the vocalist on that cut is just awesome. So if you get a chance to listen to that. And then there's a pretty cool trailer on YouTube. You just type in Elvis Costello Spanish Model trailer, and you'll see like a little 2-minute promotional trailer for the album. And it's really informative and it's very good. So that's all I have for today.
The original title of that album is This Year's Model, right? Elvis Costello's album, This Year's Model.
Yeah, the original album is This Year's Model, which is, he first came out in like 1977, 78, right around there. He played at Hollywood High School. I got to see him during that tour. He came out at the Long Beach Arena. He played for 45 minutes and left. No encore, nothing. Just boom, boom, boom.
Short songs, yeah.
Well, and now, man, he's got a huge catalog now. He's got like 36 releases of his own music with.
He does that Wheel of Songs, right?
Wheel of Fortune, yeah, that's awesome. Have you seen that? Have you been there?
That's pretty daring.
It's pretty cool. You know what? The deal is? He'll spin the wheel. He'll call somebody's seat number out from the audience. They come up and spin the wheel, and then he plays that song next, and you get a chance of dancing on the stage right there with the band, or going backstage sort of to the side and having a drink.
Couldn't be cooler than that. I can't think of anything better. That's awesome.
Yeah. One concert that I saw, I've seen him many times, and I think one of the most interesting ones was solo concert at the Arlington Theater in Santa Barbara. Just Elvis Costello and his guitar. It was awesome. And he's in that environment, when he's the only one on stage, he's personable anyway, you know. But when he played by himself, when he went solo, it was the dialogue with the audience was just great. I mean, I really enjoy it when a band will acknowledge the existence of the audience and actually interact with them.
Hey, he's cool enough to write with Paul McCartney.
And Burt Bacharach.
How many people can say that? Very few.
Yeah, no kidding.
Maybe just him for both of those names. And yeah, you know, it seemed like the 80s started in 77, 78, thanks to Elvis Costello and the Cars. They had that 80s sound back in the late 70s.
And he's been a survivor. I mean, you know, and he ventures. It's really fun to listen to how he ventures into different styles and stuff. He's risky, you know, and it's not. I don't know. There's some bands that try to do other styles and stuff, and it's just not them. And you know, he's not perfect, but that's really fun to see what he's going to do next.
Well, I'll say one more good thing about him. When my son was 10 years old, I guess going on 11 back in 1989, might have been 88, 89, Elvis Costello had an album called Spike.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a renaissance for him. That album was a really good album. I think there was some Paul McCartney collaboration on that album. I'm not sure. But it was a great album, top to bottom. And my son, at the tender age of 10, 11, you know, that's a very formative age for music, fell head over heels in love with that album.
Really?
He played it constantly. I mean, he just memorized the lyrics, you know, the whole 9 yards.
I think my daughter memorized the lyrics to Goon Squad because I would play that quite a bit. I love that song.
All right. So don't forget, people, use our resource, our free resource, the internet, on YouTube. Is that correct?
Yep.
Go to YouTube and enter Elvis Costello Spanish Model
trailer.
And that's really going to be different than this year's model.
Yes.
And every bit as good, I'm sure.
The music is the same. I think the instrumentals are the same. They just removed the vocals and added the Spanish-speaking vocalists in there. And some of them are just dynamite.
An adventure.
Yep.
Good thing. Good thing. I'll just say 2 words about that. Neil Young. All right. We got to end this episode. There we go. Here we go.